Welcome back to Low End University. Less than a year ago, the music world unexpectedly lost Limp Bizkit bassist and founding member Sam Rivers. And the worst part about this for me personally was that his passing was within the same year I finally started coming around and liking Limp Bizkit. I used to hate this band in middle school. I don't even know why. I didn't really even know their music. I wasn't a fan of that style, but they were all the rage. Fred Durst was an easy target. He was controversial, whatever. So let's fast forward to now. I was invited to play with a Limp Bizkit tribute band on New Year's Eve to Ring in 2025. I was like, why not? Something new, something different. I learned the set, did the show, and I was immediately head over heels for how fucking cool the bass lines were, the songwriting, and then unexpectedly Sam passed away later that same year, which was just last year. Those songs were still fresh in my mind, and I put out what is still one of my favorite videos I've done on the channel, despite the tragic circumstances around it. I admitted I was wrong about the band, and I just wanted to share how much I respected his work after studying it up close and learning it. But outside of that set list we did, I know none of their songs, and you guys basically said I had to come back and do an episode on their song, Boiler. The song was released in the year 2000 on their third studio album, Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water. What an album name. Let's check it out. I am intrigued by the track length. 7-minute Limp Bizkit song? C sharp. I don't know if I could say this about some of the other songs, the ones I know, the ones I learned. This kind of has that Deftones vibe going on. If I'm just going to kind of make that new metal comparison, maybe it's the vocals kind of being ethereal and just the chords are really rich. I mean, Wes Borland's playing like really big, like chug and then open strings on top or some upper extra notes in the chord, but it's just got that density to it. And, you know, it sounds like production-wise the other songs I've heard from this record, but I feel like we're setting up something kind of deep and epic here. Just a slower tempo, not so immediate, not so right into it. I think like usual, this is down in C sharp tuning for the bass. Dun, 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 dun.
Like I'ma do everything myself. Maybe I could use some help, but hell, you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself.
Nice.
Life is up and down, but my life's been what till now? I crawled up your butt somehow, and that's when things got turned around. I used to be alive, now I feel pathetic, and now I get it. What's done is done.
There was such a signature production style for this album in particular, and I love the kind of softer side of their catalog naturally. Not the biggest fan of rap and hip-hop and such, but I think the more I learned some of the more popular songs, they do such a good job of balancing elements of that, but just enough to where I didn't get tired of it, but had so much rich melody. The bass lines were cool, and again, I just really learned to respect their sound. It was very unique. This kind of has that melodic vibe you would get from a song like Rearranged, even the bass tone. And, you know, I kind of got my rearranged tone dialed in here, which is what I used for that set. So I could probably just stick with that same tone here. That's why I got this bass back out. Not necessarily because I had to use a Warwick, but Sam does. He plays the light up bass, so I'll turn my lights on. The bass lines are adventurous. I think there's always this opportunity for Sam to use those sections to his advantage when everything drops out. Normally a bass player would just kind of keep it simple down low, but he's always up high doing something to take the place of what dropped out. I just found it to be really unique. Okay, going into the verse here. So kind of going up, catching that C sharp minor. Yeah. I hear some harmonics in the guitar, maybe. Not those notes, the correct notes in the right tuning, but it's got this ethereal thing. Again, kind of like a rearranged type of verse vibe.
Up and down, but my life's been what till now? I crawled up your butt somehow, and that's when things got turned around. I used to be alive, now I feel pathetic, and now I get it. What's done is done. You just leave it alone and don't regret it. Sometimes some things
Down here to A.
turn into dumb things, and that's when you put your foot down. Foot down. Why have to go and meet somebody like you? Like you. Why have to go and hurt somebody like me? Like me. How could you do something?
I love when the kicks just by itself there, these little breaks, they kind of add that 808 sound to the kick. I noticed it during the intro, which really beefed up that section. I was kind of like, this kind of has that Deftones density happening here. From just again, make that new metal parallel, but the doom doom, they just kind of throw that 808. So I love the production. It's so tastefully done. It's not like too much all the time. This is what I'm talking about right here when those little two kicks happen kind of by themselves. Next time, right there. All right.
Looks like I'ma do everything myself. Maybe I could use some help, but hell, if you want something done right, you just do it yourself. Got it? Maybe life is up and down, but my life's been what till now? Got it? I crawled up your butt somehow. Got it?
Crawled up your butt somehow?
Got it? I used to be alive, so pathetic.
Yeah, I think what I like too is that Sam left some of that finger noise in the bass lines. He could have really like dubbed this out, made it real uniform, real bass heavy, more like a hip hop song would, a little counter melody in the bass department, but it just has that rock band rawness to it still. I think that's what really set them apart and just kind of appealed to rock fans too. It wasn't too synthesized and plastic. There was still that raw, band in a garage element to the more sophisticated production at the same time. But even in these bass lines, I love hearing just the human behind it. We have this. So it goes from 1 up to 3 here in C sharp minor. And it goes down to A, a few more arpeggios. Back down to C sharp. It again kind of has the type of thing a song like My Way does. And again, I was going to say too, I didn't tune down to C sharp, drop C sharp or C sharp standard for the set. There wasn't really many riffs that had a low open C sharp to go back to, so I was able to play it all in standard, minus a couple riffs that I made way harder unnecessarily, that being one of them. Because normally you would play the low C sharp open and just be able to catch the... Talking about My Way still, but I would keep going down to the fretted one. Anyway, this kind of reminds me of that. Same approach, finding the space, kind of A being with long notes, maybe letting the vocal shine for a bar or two, going in between the melodic phrasing of everything, the vocal phrasing, the rapping, and just throwing in those little licks up high. Again, it was just bold bass playing for, honestly, how dense some of their songs can be. Okay, let's back up. We'll start here.
I know you just leave it alone. Don't regret it, but sometimes some things turn into dumb things, and that's when you put your foot down.
Don't Take it down. I like that their tendency to bring in those secondary melodies. This little thing coming up here almost sounded like a guitar. I think it's a Fred vocal layer. Yeah. Notes in the chord. It's like way back here. Okay, I read there was a single version It was shorter,
on you is done.
but I was kind of told that the part they cut out was the part I needed to hear for an episode. So let's see what happens here.
To you is done. No more eating, no sleeping, no living. It's all just more giving to you and I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, same chords. It sounds like he's kind of building on a samba groove, which there was a song in the set list we did. So it's not the first time I've heard this, and that was super almost out of place in that song, but it works so well for their quirkiness and just kind of their unpredictability of the songwriting sometimes. So let's see if he develops that. We're kind of on the same chords,
Depending on you is done.
setting up that da-da-ga-da.
Giving to you is done. No more eating, no sleeping, no living. It's all just more giving to you and I'm done. I'm done. Depending on you is done. Is done. And giving to you is done. Is done. No more
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of that same section.
living. It's all just more giving to you and I'm done.
So that they set up with the kick just going don, don, the C sharps, da da da. So one E and. So now we've kind of developed that same kind of 3/16 notes grouping playing in and around the main downbeats. That kind of thing.
Hiding from you
It's really neat.
is done. The lying from you is done. No more eating, no sleeping, no living. It's all just more giving to you and I'm done. What happens over being somebody like you? Like you. What happens over hurt somebody like me? Like me. How could you do somebody like that? You know that I'm never coming back. I'm never coming back. What happens over being somebody like you?
Okay, still keeping the same chord progression here. We had a little bit of a tangent there. I hope they come back and explore it because I love kind of their bridge sections. They were always like, what are they doing here? It's kind of proggy in a way. I always say that when something's weird, but I was just like, I did not dig deep enough into their sound. You know, you hear a few choruses from a band. I did the same thing with Weezer in the very last episode. The whole point of this channel is to come back to bands I just kind of wrote off. I was very closed-minded about music, and I think I'm turning over a new leaf finally to re-explore a lot of these bands I know of and just had already made up my mind about them. This is probably one of the biggest offenders, but it took learning the set, learning the bass lines, and going, wow, I know there's so much more to their catalog than just, you know, the surface level stuff, Fred Durst or whatever. Lots of great musicians in this band too, which was another thing. A lot of them had jazz backgrounds. So I'm really, really becoming a big fan. Now I'm wondering if he's done that pattern earlier because it still kind of has that dun 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 ga, dun 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 ga. But I don't think he's kind of arpeggiating or octaving 151 the way he was during that little break. But it works there. Like if I kind of play that same bass line, I'm just compelled to do it. But it works here with the kick pattern. Whoa. Whoa, getting harsh. Ha. I love this halftime, the harsh vocals, the squealies, the dive bombs. I imagine reading the lyrics, there would be something maybe more serious or personal. I don't know. There's so much to uncover musically, but I feel the emotion in Fred Durst's performance here. There's other songs that, again, are I'm not going to say they're all not serious, but just a bit more tongue-in-cheek or, you know, a little bit more jovial. This feels darker, more serious. You have the framework to do that within a 7-minute song to really let an emotion build. All I heard was something about crawling up your butt, so I could be completely wrong, but if I'm just judging off the feeling I'm getting right now, uh, staying low, staying heavy, staying mid-tempo, all this stuff. Yeah, bring the bass back. I can hear the bass line kind of naked for a second. Let's see. Okay. I love the texture of the guitar here, how it's kind of supplementing the bass line. It's kind of making it's like looking at a pond with a little bit of a current in it. That's the sound I'm hearing with the guitar, harmonics. Maybe there's some delay on it. It's kind of making this pitter patter kind of thing. Two different parts, left and right. It's a beautiful outline there. Thank you guys for steering me to hear Boiler. I feel like this is one of the more emotive, serious songs from the band. Again, I might be completely wrong once I read the lyrics, but musically, I just kind of felt a little bit of that gravitational pull to something darker, the longer song. But there's so many tropes that are in this song that come from other songs on this same album. So, the production, it's obviously going to sound the same to what I'm used to hearing. I really want to go back and hear something off the first album, $3 Bill, y'all. The bass lines I hear are pretty unhinged. We did this the Faith song in the set. I remember the bass tone for that just being really, really gritty. And that was another highlight in the comments on my Sam Rivers tribute video. You got to hear some of the bass lines from the first album. But most of you said I had to hear Boiler. And it was all the things I loved about his bass lines. Finding the empty space, not being afraid to interject with little lyrical ideas. And honestly, the guitar parts getting out of the way and going from riff to texture in the verses to riffs during the choruses, back to textures in the verses. And that role reversal of letting the bass jump in and do something melodic. And I said this in my tribute video about some of the bass lines, but Fred Durst can get real rhythmic. When he's rapping, it's not really about melody, even though he does have a lot of beautiful melodies. I think Sam just looks for the more rhythmic vocal parts and will put something very melodic in the bass under it. Then you have the sampling, the DJ stuff. What a unique band. But I'm nowhere near done exploring and studying the late Sam Rivers. It's a tragic thing, passing younger unexpectedly, and may he rest in peace. But better late than never for me to come around to this band and realize I was wrong and I'm missing out on a lot of really cool stuff musically, especially in the bass department. But let me know where I should go next. I would love to come back to the band. Something from the first album, because we only did one song from that one, and I got a lot of comments about the bass lines on that record. So let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Come support the channel over on Patreon. We do full albums every month, live streams, tons of stuff. Stop by the merch store, grab some swag, a hoodie, an iPhone case, a coffee mug, and most importantly, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Do that now. I love you all. See you in the next one.